Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. I'm your host Davion, and I'm joined by Emmett
Yo,
and Lillian.
What's up?
How are we doing today? Well, I laughed because we recorded two podcasts before this, so it's like it made me. Yeah, we're doing great. I can answer for everybody else. Um, so today we are continuing our Let's Talk series, Let's Talk NBA series, and we're going with the Detroit Pistons. Like we start all of these, what is their ceiling?
Finals champions. I'm joking. Playing.
Yeah. They'll need to win 20 more games from last year to meet the play-in. So what's really obtainable for this team? Because we all know they're a really young team, but they look really good picking up Kate Cunningham last year, and I don't have their roster open. Jaden Ivey this year, which I mean it's a really big, really nice pickup. I mean they have potential to be really good this year, and because they've really focused on their youth, and so I think they're gonna waive Kemba Walker, right?
We were supposed to buy him out weeks ago.
Yeah, and he's still in their roster right now though. So talk to me about the Detroit Pistons. Lillian, you be the Detroit fan. Have at it.
Detroit's pretty good. I mean, if they decide to keep Kemba, that's certainly a choice. But you got Alec Burks, who you got in the trade with the Knicks. He was averaging 12 last year. You got Cade Cunningham, obviously, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, rookie out of Memphis, 6'10" center. I watched him during the summer league. I saw a few clips where he communicates really well on the defensive end. Jaden Ivey, rookie out of Purdue. I mean, I think a backcourt of Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey is certainly something to pay attention to. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you got Sadiq Bey running the 3 or 4. Scoring at will when he wants, playing solid defense. I mean, it's a young team, but it's a talented team.
I agree.
I want to know, like, I don't know, as a Detroit fan, what do you do about kind of the weird ages? And what I mean by that is like having Kelly Olynyk under 2 years still, Alec Burks, they got Kemba. Didn't they get Nerlens Noel too?
Yeah.
Don't confuse me. I'm not a Detroit fan.
Oh.
I'm a Golden State fan. I just happen to like Detroit because I'm from Michigan.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a weird mix of ages. You've certainly got quite a few veterans and you've got a lot of youth. But I think that's a good balance to have on a young team. You need veterans to coach the young guys.
I agree. I mean, and in those situations, like, it just takes time for, everybody to start meshing together for it to be a good team and for them to, like, begin to work. Because, like, let's be real. It's not this season. Like, this season is not their season that they're gonna go off. It's definitely 1-2 seasons from now. I mean, no. What am I saying? 2 to 4 seasons from now is when they will be a little bit better, because it just takes time, and those young guys like Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey, they just need to progress and grow in this league. Because last year, I mean, we saw Cade last year, and he wasn't the best, but he definitely was, amongst the top rookies in the league. And so it just takes time and development to become a top point guard. I mean, team in this league.
Yeah, he got off to a slow start, but you could, like, as it went on by the end of the season, like, you could see why he was the number 1 pick. Like, he's got a lot of promise. And
yeah,
like, I mean, this tanking and getting the number 1 pick, and then having a bad season, getting some top guys again, like, this is the right move. Like, you would much rather be the Pistons, I think, than somebody like Washington or Charlotte or New York, where you're just kind of in this kind of purgatory area of, oh, are we competitive or are we kind of trying to go in a different direction? Like, I just, even if it takes a couple years, like you like seeing development out of young guys versus the same result from the same guys. It gets you nowhere. And like the Pistons are playing their cards right. And I think one thing that kind of goes under the radar is taking on like cap from the Knicks to get extra picks and extra players. Like it's such a smart move. Like you said, Lillian, like it's important to have some veteran guys on your team. Like even if they won't play huge minutes, like I don't know how many minutes Alec Burks is going to play for them. Like maybe a few. Like Kelly Olynyk will play some. I don't think Corey Joseph will play a lot, but it's like important to have guys that have experience and can kind of give some advice. So I just think they're in where they are as a team is where they need to be, and like they're all hungry. They all want to play. These young teams, like they want to play so bad, and so I just think they're going to be fun regardless.
I mean, it's like the Pelicans from like 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, they had all those young guys, and they had to figure out what they were going to do. And then they go and get Zion, and now they went and got CJ. And then now there's like you just said, there's a handful of old guys, there's a handful of new guys. And it's like now we have to get them to mesh together. And some of the Pelicans are doing really well is meshing together really well. I mean, that towards the end of the season last year, after that CJ McCollum trade, they looked fantastic. And so it'll be interesting. I'm very excited to see how Dwayne Casey can really work this team, because he was a year off of winning the championship with the Raptors.
Yeah, that man won Coach of the Year and got fired.
Yeah, exactly.
That was so crazy.
What? That doesn't happen anywhere else except in Toronto,
But yeah, like Emmett was saying earlier, I think the Pistons chose a very good piece to decide to build around in Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
Started the season off injured last year, unfortunately. Then first few games, one of the worst starts to the season I've seen from a rookie. Was shooting like 12% for like the first 10 games. But then comes again and ends up averaging 17, 5, and 5. So I think that shows a lot of resiliency from a rookie. And that's a great thing to see when you want to build around that player. And another player we didn't even mention, I think, is Marvin Bagley.
Yeah.
Which is sort of crazy. Got sort of written off in Sacramento. And I think that it was very easy to write him off. I don't think Sacramento's a good place to be for any player in this league. It just isn't. But he was averaging 9 points a game in Sacramento last year, got traded to Detroit, ended up averaging 15 and 7 for them. So I think that if I'm Marvin Bagley, if there's anywhere I want to be, it's with other young players and with a coach that I know has had success in the past. And I think it's the perfect place for Marvin Bagley to – I don't think he's going to reach the potential he should have as like the number 2 overall pick. But I think he finally can settle down and figure out his role on a solid team.
I mean, because they got him. They got Isaiah Stewart as well, who can be aggressive. Obviously, we saw that last year with LeBron, but irrelevant. And then, I mean, is it smart to keep a Kemba Walker around? Like, have him come off the bench just to coach Cade and to coach Ivy? Like, I mean, that's not a bad fit for him.
I mean, he's getting $9 million. It's not like you're spending a lot of money on him.
Exactly.
I mean, looking at the salaries for this team, nobody's getting paid more than 13. This is, and it's because they're also young or playing on like vet minimums. And I think keeping Kemba would be smarter than buying him out.
Yeah. If Kemba had a couple more years, like, I would understand trying to flip him or something, but he's got 1 year left. If they decide to keep him, like, I think the Killian Hayes experiment has kind of run out. Like, I think he could do better on a different team. Like I hope he can, because like when I saw him get drafted when he did, like I saw like some of his highlights. I was like, wow, this kid might actually be pretty good. I was so off on that, at least starting off. But like I don't know, like similar to what Marvin Bagley did. Like he could go to another team where, maybe they're higher on him and he could do better. But the reason I'm saying that is like I don't really know who their backup point guard is. Like they've got Corey Joseph, they've got Frank Jackson, I think, and
Yeah.
Kemba. So you could throw Kemba in for a few minutes. Like I don't see what's wrong with that.
I agree.
Depth is not the Pistons' strong suit. But yeah, I think keeping Kemba, you need a veteran guard somewhere that has done something. And Corey Joseph isn't that guy. Corey Joseph, I mean, I think he has a couple of rings because he was on the Spurs.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and act like Corey Joseph was this huge. He has a ring. He wasn't some huge part of that team. So, I mean, it's a young team. I think looking at the guards that they do have, if you don't want to give up on Killian Hayes just yet, because, I mean, it's only his third year. You never know. I guess, I mean, you could have Killian Hayes, Kemba Walker play a couple of minutes, Hamidou Diallo, but that experiment should be long done. Saban Lee, going into his third year out of Vanderbilt. I mean, he averaged 6 points a game last year. But I don't know, man.
They got a lot of guys.
They have a lot of players on the roster.
I mean, if Kimba does get bought out, which I don't know, it sounded like he probably won't. I mean, I think the Spurs is a good pickup for him. You can go sit under what am I forgetting his name?
Popovich?
Yeah, Greg Popovich, and because Spurs just traded away their star guy there for a rebuild, and what's good for a rebuild? A veteran, a veteran guard's not it always works out for them, and that's why.
The thing about Kemba is leaving Charlotte was the worst thing he ever did. It killed his career.
Yeah.
I don't think even having that veteran presence, that's not something to rebuild around. You have him for a couple years maybe, because at this point he's been in the league 11 years. He's probably going to retire.
Oh, I'm not saying you build around Kemba. No.
Him, but what's the point of trading for him or even just signing him if who is he even going to coach up?
Spurs got nothing. They have nothing.
The Spurs got a couple of tumbleweeds.
If that, it's brutal. It's brutal out there in San Antonio with them churro eating women.
Hey, Kemba could do a homecoming. If he gets bought out, he could go back to Charlotte.
Does Charlotte want him though?
I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, Steve Clifford's back. He could.
But he wanted to play at home in New York, and he did that. So I don't know what's next for him.
Retirement. I mean, it's a lot of these guys that are turning that leaf in the league, like Russell Westbrook, like Kemba Walker.
No, stop talking about Westbrook.
Yeah,
you're the one that brings him up.
I was just saying. I was bringing him up for the point of he needs to retire. He's bad. He's not good. He's done.
One bad season. He's got to retire.
Huh?
He had one bad season. One.
What do you mean one? He's not good. He hasn't been good in any of his seasons.
Russ?
Yes.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
He just stat pads all pass stats all day. Listen, so you're saying no, we're not talking about Westbrook. We're not. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole today. I almost did though. I really almost did. But as we begin to close, any final thoughts about the Detroit Pistons?
I don't know. I'd love to see Isaiah Livers get a real chance. Injured a lot of last year, but
Emmett?
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me as well. I mean, Detroit, nothing. Only thing good coming out of Detroit is
You
oh wait, nothing. Dang it. Actually, maybe the Lions. The Lions look like they're gonna be good this season. But other than that, no. Pistons are 3 seasons away from being relevant in the NBA. And that's my final thought.
you're
But
brutal, man.
yeah,
This
2 or
man
3
hates the
seasons.
city of Detroit.
Listen, I don't hate the city of Detroit. Peace and love. But I have been your host, Davion. If you made it this far, thanks for listening to another installment of the Let's Talk NBA series. Lillian, Emmett, thanks for coming on. Like always, we'll be back in a couple of days for more content. So just be ready. Be ready to comment and all the things. But yeah, thanks for listening. Peace.